Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today was a very strange coincidence when it turns out that both Green Arrow the comic and Arrow the TV show are going to be canceled. So pretty crappy day if you're a Green Arrow fan. So originally I was going to just be talking about the comic being canceled. That was the news that came out first, but right when I was about to record it was announced that Arrow on the CW is going to be ending, and Stephen Amell himself put up this tweet and it said, "Playing Oliver Queen has been the greatest professional experience of my life, but you can't be a vigilante forever. Arrow will return for a final run of 10 episodes this fall. There's so much to say, but for now I just want to say thank you." So that's a bummer. You know, I thought it was a really good show. It had a pretty good run for sure. I actually kind of suspected this was going to happen, and I talked about this a lot recently in my Batwoman videos and in my Superman Maybe Getting a Show video. I talked about how a lot of these shows, particularly Arrow, were starting to age. You know, they were going to just have to be replaced at some point. And it could be said that maybe they're making way for Batwoman by getting rid of the other vigilante hero in their lineup. And that could be the case, but I think it has more to do with just the Arrow has run its course. It's been going for a while. I don't know for sure what the reasoning is, but that's the end for Arrow. I'm hoping he'll still make appearances. You know, he could easily cameo on the other shows that are still ongoing. And that's probably what'll happen with Supergirl as well. My suspicion is that after Arrow, Supergirl is going to be the next one to be canceled. It was interesting too, on my Superman video someone commented and said, do your research, the ratings are great on Supergirl. And it's just like, if you go and Google Supergirl ratings, there's all kinds of articles about how it has very poor ratings, which is really, you know, too bad. I would love for Supergirl to have 8 seasons just like Arrow did, but I really don't see that happening. But we're talking about Arrow, so along with Arrow going off the air, DC Comics, specifically Dan Didio himself, came out and talked about Green Arrow. So it is going to be coming to an end at issue number 50. Now, the really interesting thing about that is they already know it's going to be rebooted, so they're going to start it again at issue number 1 right away as soon as issue number 50 ends. And it's really interesting because the article I read a CBR article about this story, and the spin on it is really interesting. So the way they come in at it is they say, "Some good news for Green Arrow fans. Though the comic by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Javier Fernandez will be ending with issue 50, released in stores today, a new series is in the works." So that's a really quite a spin on saying, okay, the current series is ending at issue 50 and we're going to immediately reboot it at issue number 1. It's like, just keep it going. Oh, you know, issue number 1 is going to sell a lot better than issue 51 will. Okay. It's interesting too to me that they credit these creators, who are indeed the current, you know, writers and artists on Green Arrow, but they don't mention the other ones who were on the run for at least half of it, you know. I was surprised to see these creators, because when I was actually looking at Green Arrow earlier in Rebirth, you know, like a year ago, 2 years ago, Stephen Byrne was doing the art on it and Percy was writing it, so I know they did a lot of issues. And you would think a CBR article would mention that most, if at least half, if not most, of the run was done by people other than who they credit. But, you know, these articles, they don't always do too much research. So they did actually, though, go to the source and talked to Didio himself. And what he said is that issue 50 is a milestone. He said, "It's a milestone issue. It's also the last issue, which is interesting. The book is still performing well for us, but we decided to end the story there because we wanted Green Arrow to play very intricately in a lot of the stories and events that are going to take place across the DCU." Oh my goodness, that is such utter bullshit. Like, honestly, oh my gosh. And to say that to comic fans is such spin. Okay, so Green Arrow can't be in too many books. Like, how many books is he in, honestly? Not as many as Batman. You know, they've never had an issue with Batman being in 2 books, or their continuity. Like, the continuity is makes no sense anyways. You got Batman in literally at least six books. I think he's in 7 now if you count like the Batman Who Laughs. And he is in that, so, you know, the Earth Prime Batman, I mean. But, you know, he's in Detective Comics and Batman and everything else. So they don't worry about him being in those books and Justice League and all this other stuff. So to say that they're canceling Green Arrow at issue 50 because they're worried about him being in too many books is laughable. I mean, honestly, you know, I wish they would just say things to us that were at least believable. Like, if you're gonna lie, at least do it well, right? So I know they're just gonna reboot it at issue 1 because that's what you do when your book is probably selling less than 30K. I mean, I didn't go and double check the numbers, but I can't imagine Green Arrow is selling super well. And I did look at Deathstroke recently, and it was only at issue 39, and it was down below, what was it, number 103 of the best-selling books. So imagine Green Arrow is down around there, and they know if they make it in issue 1, it could get up into the top 20 for that month. Much like Shazam did. Shazam number 1 came out, and it was the 10th best-selling book, but it dropped many spots. I covered this in one of my more recent videos too, but it fell a lot of places. I can't remember exactly, but it lost over a third of its units in between issue 1 and issue 2. So it's a very specific reason they reboot these things or cancel things like comic books and shows. And it's not usually because there's an oversaturation of a character, especially when it's a character like Green Arrow. Just come on, Didio. Yeah, I am disappointed to see Arrow go off the air. I'm really not surprised, though. So they don't keep shows around quite as long as they used to. We don't have many Smallvilles anymore that make it 10 seasons. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Let me know down below what you think about Arrow and Green Arrow, both coming to an end, at least for now. And be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.